Okay everybody, Halloween is just around the corner, which means horror movies, well basically what it really means is yet another paranormal activity. Now this series just won't go away. It's like that aging boxer who just refuses to retire, or the Kardashians who we just can't seem to get rid of. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Real Mentor. My goal is always to enhance your movie watching experience. This week, of course, Paranormal Activity 5. This is directed by first time and probably last time director Gregory Plotkin. Has a bunch of actors which no one really knows, all pretty much first timers, like this guy or this little girl or this other woman. Irrelevant, nobody cares. They'll be working at Denny's, bringing you your Moonzo in Miami, telling you one day how they used to be in a big movie back in the day. Now the plot's simple. Family moves into a house. They have a young girl, 5-6 years old. They eventually find out that this house is haunted, of course, and there's a demon in particular chasing after the little girl. Now everything is captured via filming because like every other family in the world, who doesn't film every second of their lives night and day? But whatever. Now what's different about the filming this time around is the equipment that he uses. Now when they first move into the house, they find a box full of VHS tapes. They find one of those giant cameras put on your shoulder used back in the 90s. And this is what they primarily use when filming around the house. Now what's special about this camera, this is the only camera that they have that can actually pick up some of the strange sightings and the lights and the ghosts and demons and all that. No other camera in the house works, and nothing they use to capture that. So they use this camera to go around. Now the other special thing about this camera is tied into the 3D that this movie advertises. Now normally I don't like 3D. It's kind of an eyesore, as nothing new, but I'll give credit where credit's due. They actually do something a little bit different. It's actually pretty clever. The 3D is introduced only when the giant camera is being used. Now this is interesting because the whole movie is not in 3D, so those who kind of get dizzy or fatigued or don't like wearing their glasses can take them off from time to time. Now the 3D, as soon as the camera comes on, the 3D kicks in, which adds a whole new element to the movie. Actually enhances some of the scares, or some of the stuff comes at you, what's thrown at you, some of the ghosts come straight at you. So that's actually pretty interesting. The only downside is the moment you see that 3D effect come into play, you kind of know something scary is going to happen. But it's a horror flick, so more often than not, you always know when something's going to happen because the music tenses up or things get really quiet, so it's not a big surprise. But at least with the 3D, they try to do something a little bit different, and I appreciate that. Now, I've been a fan of this series in the past. I enjoyed the first three. The last two were kind of subpar. This one's actually on par with the first three, which is a good thing, and it's actually a very good send-off to the series. According to Paramount, this is the last one they're gonna make. Yeah, right. But I believe it when I don't see it. But if this is indeed the last one, it got a pretty decent send-off. Now, this doesn't really bring much new to the table aside from the 3D aspect of it. It offers some of the same things we've seen before, just done a little bit differently, a different demon, different family. But ultimately, it's the same thing. And that's not a bad thing. Okay, when I go to a restaurant, I order a steak, that's what I expect to get. When you go watch a Paranormal Activity movie, you know what you're gonna get. If you're a fan of the series, I absolutely recommend that you guys watch it. At the end of the day, I always say, particularly with genre movies, a comedy just needs to be funny. A horror movie just needs to be scary. Plot, characters, cinematography, it's great if it's there, but at the end of the day, it's icing on the cake. It doesn't make a difference as long as it's scary. And this movie does deliver on the scares. Most of them jump scares, but nonetheless, still pretty effective. So even if you're not a great fan of this series, but you're a fan of horror, I absolutely recommend you go watch this movie. You're gonna have a good time as long as you just kind of check your brain at the door and enjoy the visuals and scares it kind of throws at you. So you're a fan of this series, you're gonna go watch it, let me know. As always, subscribe below whether you like the review or don't. Feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. Now I do got some giveaways for you guys. This poster here, I got several of these posters. I also got a couple of t-shirts, Paranormal Activity, Ghost Dimension t-shirts to give away. Go ahead and reach out to me on Twitter at The Real Mentor. Let me know if you guys are interested, or email me at therealmentor@gmail.com. I'll be more happy to send those out to you guys. I got plenty of them. So I'll see you guys next week for my review of The Room, which I promised you guys a few days ago.